Hi everyone, I'm Law of the West, and this buyer's guide is going to be for the Drake Vulture. And this ship is intended to be an introduction into the salvage career path, and if that's what you're looking for, then this is a solid choice to make. I like the look of this ship and how it handles. I'm also really impressed with the view from the flight deck, how it has a very Argo-like feel to it, and the way that its windows give a commanding view of the spot where the salvage arms are pointing. I appreciate being able to directly exit the Vulture from the flight deck, and the way that it opens up into a small catwalk that lines the outside of the ship. And this spot also has gravity, so you can walk out onto it even when in deep space, and it provides a nice spot to aim for when you're EVAing back to the ship. It has a classic Drake-looking interior that doesn't go overboard with the hanging wires and exposed walls like some of the other ships in their lineup tend to do. But I do have a few criticisms with the Vulture. It's another example of a ship that was made before the gameplay loop that it was meant to fulfill. And then, after they added that gameplay loop in, they found that the ship didn't live up to the expectations in the way that they hoped it would. They have done a few changes to it, like adding a buffer to the RMC fabricator, which does help. And I like how it was given the ability to print a multi-tool in some of its attachments. But it's still a long way from where it should be, and the Vulture struggles when it comes to its storage space. One of the ways that I found to get around this was to work with a cargo hauler and use them to store the extras that I pulled off a derelict, which half the time ended up being worth more than the RMC that I was gathering. The downside to this is that it cut into my profits so much that it wasn't worth doing. Personally, I'm now looking to hold off on the Vulture, and I'm waiting for something that's more like the Erasta but for salvaging. I want a salvager that has enough capacity to carry everything it could get from a medium or large wreck, but still can be handled by a solo pilot or a small crew. But the Vulture can still end up being a valuable ship to own, and you can overcome its limitations if you have the right mix of people and ships to work with. Like, for instance, if you want to remain being a solo pilot, then the Liberator is going to synergize incredibly well with the Vulture. You can use it to land at and unload all of your cargo. Its automated defenses can cover your ship while you're working, and it can be used to greatly extend out the Vulture's range and abilities. So it could be the perfect mini-base that's used to overcome all the Vulture's current limitations without having to rely on any other players to do so. You could also use the Vulture to work alongside a cargo hauler and a fighter craft, where the fighter creates the wrecks, the Vulture chews them up, and the cargo hauler stores the extra. If you're looking to buy a Vulture, my advice would be to hold off and don't buy it from the pledge store, and instead make it an in-game goal to work for using whatever ship you currently have. Then get used to it, see if you like it, and keep using it till they come out with another salvage ship that's a little more in tune with the current gameplay mechanics. And then compare it to what you're flying and see if you want to permanently add it to your fleet or keep flying what you have. Well, that's going to be it for this buyer's guide for the Drake Vulture. I've been your host, Law of the West. Thanks for watching, and take care.